I'm gonna just jump into it. I'm getting a little started later than I wanted to anyway, and I don't feel like waiting. All right, Ezra 1. In the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, upon the conclusion of Yahweh's prophecy by the mouth of Jeremiah, Yahweh aroused the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, and he issued a proclamation throughout his kingdom, and in writing as well, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth has Yahweh Elohim of heaven given to me, and he has commanded me to build him a temple in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever is among you of his entire people, may his Elohim be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build a temple of Yahweh, Elohim of Yasharah. He is the Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. And whoever remains in whatever place he dwells, let the inhabitants of that place bestow upon him gifts of silver and gold, of valuables and of animals, together with the contribution for the temple of Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. So the heads of the families of Judah and Benjamin, and the Kohanim and the Levites, with all those whose spirits Elohim had aroused, got up to ascend and build the temple of Yahweh, which is in Jerusalem. And all the people around them strengthened their hands with silver utensils, with gold, with valuables, and with animals, and with fine goods, besides all that was contributed for the temple. King Cyrus removed the vessels of the temple of Yahweh that Nebuchadnezzar had removed from Jerusalem and placed in the temple of his gods. Cyrus, king of Persia, removed them by the hand of Mithridates, the treasurer, who then counted them over to Sheshbazzar, the leader of Judah. This was their number: 30 golden utensils, 1,000 silver utensils, 29 slaughtering knives, 30 golden bowls, 410 secondary silver bowls, and 1,000 other vessels. All the vessels of gold and silver, 5,400. Sheshbazzar brought them all up with the ascension of the exile from Babylonia to Jerusalem. Chapter 2. These are the people of the country who ascended from the captivity of the exile that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia, had exiled to Babylonia, who returned to Jerusalem and Judah, each man to his city, who came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Realiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispar, Bigvai, Rehum, and Baana, who comprised the sum of the dignitaries of the people of Yasharah. The children of Parosh, 2,172. The children of Shephatiah, 372. The children of Arah, 775. The children of the governor of Moab, of the children of Jeshua and Joab, 2,812. The children of Elam, 1,254. The children of Zatu, 945. The children of Zakai, 760. The children of Bani, 642. The children of Bebai, 623. The children of Axgad, 1,222. The children of Adonikam, 666. The children of Bigvai, 2,056. The children of Adin, 454. The children of Ater of Hezekiah, 98. The children of Bazai, 323. The children of Jorah, 112. The children of Hashum, 223. The children of Gabar, 95. The people of Bethlehem, 123. The people of Netophah, 56. The people of Anathoth, 128. The people of Asmaveth, 42. The people of Kiriath Arim, Shafira, and Berioth, 743. The people of the Ramah and Geba, 621. The people of Mikmas, 122. The people of Bethel and Ai, 223. The people of Nebo, 52. The people of Magbish, 156. The people of a different Elam, 1,254. The people of Harim, 320. The people of Lod, Hadid, and Ono, 725. The people of Jericho, 345. The people of Sana'a, 3,630. The Kohanim, the children of Jediah, the house of Jeshua, 973. The children of Emer, 1052. The children of Pashur, 1247. The children of Harim, 1017. The Levites, the children of Jeshua and Kadmiel, of the children of Hodaviah, 74. The singers, the children of Asaph, 128. The children of the gatekeepers, the children of Shallum, the children of Ater, the children of Talmon, and the children of Akub, the children of Hatita, and the children of Shobai, altogether 139. The Nethinim, the children of Zihar, the children of Hasufa, the children of Tabaoth, the children of Keros, the children of Siaha, the children of Padon, the children of Labana, the children of Hagab, the children of Akub, the children of Hagab, the children of Salmai, the children of Hanan, the children of Gidel, the children of Gahar, the children of Re'ah, the children of Rezin, the children of Nakoda, the children of Gazam, the children of Uzzah, the children of Paseah, the children of Basar, the children of Asnah, the children of Munim, the children of Nephuzim, the children of Bakbuk, the children of Hakufa, the children of Harhur, the children of Bazluth, the children of Mahida, the children of Harsha, the children of Barkos, the children of Sisera, the children of Tamar, the children of Naziah, the children of Hatifa, the children of Solomon's slaves, the children of Sotai, the children of Hasaphareth, the children of Peruda, the children of Ja'ala, the children of Darkon, the children of Gedel, the children of Shephatiah, the children of Hatil, the children of Pakareth, Hazelbaim, the children of Ami, all of the Nethinim, and all the children of Solomon's slaves numbered 392. All them names, they only got 392 from all that. All of the children of the Kohanim, the children of Habiah, the children of Hakoz, and the children of Barzillai, who took wives from the daughters of Barzillai of Gilead, and they were called by their name. These sought their genealogical records, but they could not be found, so they were disqualified from the priesthood. And that's a cut to all these camps, all these people out here calling themselves Levites and priests, whoever, priest Donna Allah, or what's the dude from Sakari calling himself a Levite, a Levitical priest and stuff. Man, y'all can't even be doing that. Y'all ain't got your records for one. Hatish Shatha told them they should not eat of the most holy offerings until there would arise a Kohen to inquire of the Urim and the Thummim. The entire congregation together numbered 42,360, besides their male slaves and female slaves, of which there were 7,337. 7,337. They also had 200 male singers and female singers. Their horses numbered 736. Their mules, 245. Their camels, 435. Their donkeys, 6,720. Some of the heads of the families, when they came to the site of the temple of Yahweh, that is in Jerusalem, made contributions to the temple of Elohim to establish it on its foundation. They gave according to their means to the work fund of gold, 61,000 darkamons of silver, 5,000 manes, and 100 priestly tunics. The Kohanim and the Levites and some of the people, and the singers and the gatekeepers and the Nethinim settled in their cities, and all of Yasharal in their cities. Chapter 3. The 7th month arrived, and the children of Yasharal were settled in the cities. The people then assembled as one man to Jerusalem. Then Jeshua, son of Jozadak, arose, along with his brethren, the Kohanim, and Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and they built the altar of the Elohim of Yasharal. Damn mosquito. To offer burnt offerings upon it, as it is written in the Torah of Moses, the man of Elohim. They established the altar on its foundations, for the fear of the peoples of the land was upon them. So they offered burnt offerings upon it to Yahweh, burnt offerings for the morning and the evening. Then they observed the festival of Sukkot, as it is written, with the burnt offerings of each day and its day according to the required amount, according to the law of each day and its day. Afterwards they offered daily burnt offerings as well as those of the new moons and of all the sanctified festivals of Yahweh, and offerings from anyone who dedicated a voluntary offering to Yah. From the first day of the 7th month they commenced offering burnt offerings to Yah, but the foundation of the sanctuary of Yah had not yet been laid. They gave money to the couriers and carpenters, and food, drink, and oil to the Sidonians and to the Tyrians, to transport cedar wood from Lebanon to the Sea of Jaffa, as authorized for them by Cyrus, king of Persia. In the 2nd year of their arrival at the site of the temple of Elohim to Jerusalem in the 2nd month, Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, son of Jozadak, and the rest of their brethren, the Kohanim and the Levites, and all those who came back from the captivity to Jerusalem commenced, and they stationed the Levites aged 20 years and older to direct the work of the temple of Yahweh. Then Jeshua, his sons and his kinsmen, Kadmiel and his sons of the children of Judah, arose as one to direct the workers in the temple of Elohim, as well as the sons of Henadad, their sons and their brother Levites. When the builders had laid the foundation of the sanctuary of Yahweh, they stationed the Kohanim, elegantly attired with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals, to praise Yahweh through the psalms of David, king of Yasharal. They sang responsibly with praise and thanksgiving to Yahweh, for it is good to praise him. For his benevolence towards Yasharal is eternal. All the people burst into a great shout of praise to Yahweh upon the laying of the foundation of the temple of Yah. But many of the elder Kohanim, Levites, and heads of families, who had beheld the first temple on its foundation, wept loudly when his temple was before their eyes, while many who had not seen the first temple, raised their voices in shouting for joy. The people did not notice the sound of the joyful shouting because of the sound of the people's weeping, although the people shouted with a great shout and the noise was heard from afar. Chapter 4. The enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the people of the exile were building a sanctuary for Yahweh, Elohim of Yasharal. They approached Zerubbabel and the heads of families and said to them, "Let us build with you, for like you, we will seek your Elohim. It is to him that we have been sacrificing since the days of Asar-Haddon, king of Assyria, who brought us up here." But Zerubbabel, along with Jeshua and the rest of the family heads of Yasharal, said to them, "It is not for you together with us to build a temple for our Elohim. Rather, we by ourselves will build it for Yahweh, Elohim of Yasharal, as King Cyrus, king of Persia, has commanded us." Then people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and frightened them from building. They hired advisors against them to disrupt their plans all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. During the reign of Ahasuerus and the beginning of his reign, they wrote a calumny against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. In the days of Artaxerxes, Mithridath, Tabeel, and the rest of his cohorts wrote a greeting to Artaxerxes, king of Persia. The text of the letter was written in Aramaic script and in the Aramaic language. Rehum, the counselor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter concerning Jerusalem to King Artaxerxes, as we will state. Then Rehum, the spokesman, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their cohorts, the Denites, the Apharasetikites, the Tarpalites, the Apharasites, the Archavites, the Babylonians, the Shushanachites, the Dehites, the Elamites, and the rest of the nations whom the great and venerated Sennacherib had exiled and settled in the cities of Samaria, along with the rest of the residents of the Trans-Euphrates region and the city of Chineth, wrote this letter. This is the text of the letter that they dispatched to him, to King Artaxerxes. From your servants, the people of the Trans-Euphrates region, on this date, let it be known to the king that the Jews who went up from you to us have arrived in Jerusalem. They are constructing a rebellious and villainous city. They have laid the foundations for the ramparts and are linking the walls. Now let it be known to the king that should this city be built and the ramparts established, they will no longer pay levy, tax, and duty, and you will thus cause damage to the royal revenue. Now, inasmuch as we are desirous of destroying the sanctuary, for it is not proper for us to witness the king's disgrace. Therefore we have dispatched and notified the king that he should examine the book of records of his ancestors, and he will find in the book of records and become aware that this city is a rebellious city and damaging to kings and provinces, and they have made insurrection in it since ancient days. That is why this city was destroyed. We notify the king that if the city is built and the foundations for its ramparts laid, in consequence of this, you will have no part of the Trans-Euphrates region. The king sent a message to Rehum the counselor and Shimshai the scribe and the rest of their cohorts living in Samaria, and to the rest of the Trans-Euphrates region, and the cities of Shilam and Che'eneth. The letter that you dispatched to us has been read explicitly before me. An order was given by me, and my officials investigated and discovered that this city has risen up against its kings since ancient days, and rebellion and insurrection have perpetrated in it. Mighty kings once reigned over Jerusalem, who ruled over all the Trans-Euphrates region, and levy, tax, and duty were paid to them. Now issue a decree to halt these people. This city shall not be built until a decree is issued by me. Take care not to be remiss in doing this. Why should destruction increase to harm the king, to the harm of the kings? Then, as soon as the text of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before Rehum, Shimshai the scribe and their cohorts, they went in haste to Jerusalem to the Jews and halted them with force and power. The work of the temple of Elohim in Jerusalem was thus halted, and remained halted until the second year of the reign of King Darius of Persia. That sounds like some United Nations stuff they got going on back then. That Psalms 83 Council, chapter 5. Haggai the prophet and Zechariah son of Edo the prophets prophesied to the Jews who were in Judah and in Jerusalem in the name of the NehemiYaH about them. Then Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel and Jeshua son of Jozadak rose and began to build the temple of Elohim that was in Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of Elohim assisting them. At that time, Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates region, approached them, along with Shethar, Bazanai, and their accomplices. They said this to them: Who issued you a decree to construct this building and to lay the foundation for these ramparts? Then they said the following to them: What are the names of the persons constructing this building? But the eye of their Elohim watched over the elders of the Jews, and Tattenai and his accomplices did not halt them until the matter could be brought before Darius, when Darius and his officials would write a reply about it. This is the text of the letter which Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates region, along with Shethar, Bazanai, and his cohorts, the Apharesakites who were in the Trans-Euphrates region, sent to King Darius. They sent a message to him, and this was written therein: To King Darius, all peace. Let it be known to the king that we have gone to the province of Judah, to the temple of the great Elohim. It is being built of marble stone, with wood reinforcing the walls. This work is proceeding rapidly and is succeeding in their hands. Then we questioned these elders, saying thus to them: Who issued you a decree to construct this building and to lay the foundation for these ramparts? We also asked them for their names in order to inform you, so that we could record the names of the men at their head. This is the answer they replied to us, saying, We are the servants of the Elohim of heaven and earth, and we are rebuilding a temple that has been built these many years ago. A great king of Yasharal built it and laid its foundations. However, because our ancestors had angered the Elohim of heaven, he delivered them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia, the Chaldean, who destroyed this temple and exiled the people to Babylonia. However, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylonia, King Cyrus gave an order to have this temple of Elohim rebuilt. In addition, the vessels of gold and silver of the temple of Elohim, which Nebuchadnezzar had removed from the sanctuary in Jerusalem and brought to the temple in Babylon, King Cyrus removed them from the temple in Babylon, and they were given to the one named Sheshbazzar, whom he had appointed governor. And he said to him, Take these vessels and go put them in the sanctuary that is in Jerusalem, and let the temple of Elohim be built on its place. Then this Sheshbazzar came and set in place the walls of the temple of Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. From then until now, it has been under construction, but has not been completed. And now, if it pleases the king, that a search be made of the royal archives that there are in Babylon, if it is true that a decree was issued by King Cyrus to build this temple of Elohim in Jerusalem. And let the king convey to us his will in this matter. Chapter 6. Then King Darius issued a decree, and they searched in the library where the archives were stored in Babylonia. A scroll was discovered in a pouch in the palace in the province of Media, and this was the record that was written in it. In the first year of King Cyrus issued a decree concerning the temple of Elohim in Jerusalem. The temple shall be built, a place for the offering of sacrifices, with its walls strongly founded, its height 60 cubits and its width 60 cubits. There shall be 3 rows of marble and 1 row of new wood, with the expenses provided for by the royal palace. Also the golden and silver vessels of the temple of Elohim, which Nebuchadnezzar removed from the sanctuary in Jerusalem and brought to Babylon, shall be returned and shall go to the sanctuary that is in Jerusalem, to their place, and they shall be placed in the temple of Elohim. So now Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates region, Shethar-Bozenai and their cohorts, the Aphorasakites of the Trans-Euphrates region, keep a distance from that place. Leave the work of this temple of Elohim alone. The governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews shall rebuild this temple of Elohim in its place. A decree is hereby issued by me that you should cooperate with these elders of the Jews to rebuild this temple of Elohim, and the expenses shall be provided immediately to these people from the royal estate, from the Trans-Euphrates region's taxes, so that their work not be halted, and whatever they require, young bulls, rams, and sheep for burnt offerings to the Elohim of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the specifications of the Kohanim who are in Jerusalem, shall be supplied to them day by day without fail, so that they may offer pleasing offerings to the Elohim of heaven and pray for the lives of the king and his children. And a decree is hereby issued by me that any person who will deviate from this matter shall have a beam torn out of his house upon which he shall be hanged, and his house shall be designated a dunghill for this. And may the Elohim who has caused his name to dwell there topple any king or people who may stretch out his hand to disobey this decree, to damage this temple of Elohim that is in Jerusalem. I, Darius, have issued a decree. Let it be implemented expeditiously. Then Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates region, Shethar-Bozenai and their cohorts, in consideration of King Darius's dispatch, acted expeditiously according to what was stated. The elders of the Jews built and were successful. Through the prophecy of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah son of Iddo, they built and they established the foundations of the temple by the decree of Elohim-Yasharal and the decree of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. This temple was completed by the 3rd day of the month of Adar, No, wait, Adar. During the 6th year of the reign of King Darius, the children of Yasharal, the Kohanim, and the Levites, and the remainder of the people of the exile celebrated the inauguration of this temple of Elohim with joy. They offered for the inauguration of this temple of Elohim 100 bulls, 200 rams, and 400 sheep, and 12 young goats, as sin offerings for all Yasharal, corresponding to the number of the tribes of Yasharal. They established the Kohanim in their groups and the Levites in their divisions for the service of Elohim in Jerusalem, as written in the book of Moses. The people of the exile brought the Pesach offering on the 14th day of the first month. For the Kohanim and the Levites had the festival of Massos joyfully for a 7-day period, for Yah had brought them joy, for he had turned the heart of the king of Assyria toward them, to strengthen their hands in the labor for the temple of Elohim, the Elohim of Yasharal. Chapter 7. After these things, during the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, son of Sariah, son of Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Shallum, son of Zadok, son of Ahitub, son of Amariah, son of Azariah, son of Marioth, son of Zerahiah, son of Uzi, son of Buki, son of Abishua, son of Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the first Kohen. This Ezra ascended from Babylonia. He was a brilliant scholar of the Torah of Moses, which Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal had given. The king granted him his every request, according to the command of Yahweh, his Elohim, to him. And some of the children of Yasharal and the Kohanim and the Levites, singers and gatekeepers, and the Nethinim, ascended to Jerusalem during the 7th year of King Artaxerxes. He arrived in Jerusalem in the 5th month of the 7th year of the king. For the first day of the first month was the beginning of the ascent from Babylonia, and on the first day of the 5th month he arrived in Jerusalem, by the benevolence of the hand of his Elohim upon him. For Ezra set his heart to expound the Torah of Yahweh, and to fulfill and to teach its statute and law in Yasharal. This is the text of the letter that King Artaxerxes gave to Ezra the Kohen, the scholar of the commandments of Yahweh and his statutes to Yasharal. Artaxerxes, king of kings, to Ezra the Kohen, scholar of the law of the Elohim of heaven and master of it, on this date. A decree is hereby issued by me that anyone in my kingdom among the people of Yasharal, because you have been dispatched by the king and his 7 counselors to investigate Judah and Jerusalem concerning the Torah of your Elohim, which is in your hand, and to transport the silver and gold that the king and his counselors have contributed to the Elohim of Yasharal, whose dwelling place is in Jerusalem, and all the silver and gold that you may find in the entire province of Babylonia, together with contributors that the people and the Kohanim contribute to the temple of their Elohim that is in Jerusalem. By means of this you shall immediately purchase with this money bulls, rams, sheep, and their meal offerings and their libations, and offer them on the altar of the temple of your Elohim that is in Jerusalem. You may do with the remaining silver and gold whatever seems proper to you and your brethren, and is in accordance with the will of your Elohim, you may do. Furthermore, deliver the vessels that were given to you for the service of the temple of your Elohim before Elohim in Jerusalem. And any other needs of the temple of your Elohim that may arise for you to provide, you may provide from the king's treasury. Furthermore, a decree is hereby issued by me, I, King Artaxerxes, to all the treasurers in the Trans-Euphrates region, that whatever Ezra the Kohen, scholar of the law of Elohim of heaven, shall request of you, shall be granted expeditiously, up to 100 talents of silver, up to 100 cores of wheat, up to 100 baths of wine, up to 100 baths of oil, and unlimited salt. Whatever is decreed by the Elohim of heaven shall be done by the king's seal for the temple of Elohim, lest his rage befall the king's realm and his children. We also declare to you that concerning all the Kohanim and the Levites, the singers and gatekeepers, the Nethinim, and whoever serves in this temple Elohim, it shall not be lawful to impose upon them any levy, tax, or duty. And you, Ezra, in accordance with the divine wisdom that you possess, shall appoint judges and magistrates who will judge all the people who are in the Trans-Euphrates region. Appoint men who know the law of your Elohim, or teach those who do not know. Anyone who does not fulfill the law of your Elohim and the law of the king, judgment shall be swiftly executed against him, whether to be put to death, or to be uprooted, or to be punished with loss of property, or with imprisonment. Blessed is Yahweh, Elohim of our forefathers, who has put such thoughts in the heart of the king, to glorify the temple of Yahweh that is in Jerusalem, who extended kindness to me from before the king and his counselors and all of the king's powerful officers. I then strengthened myself in accordance with whatever the hand of Yahweh my Elohim gave me the ability to do, and I assembled leaders from Yasharal to ascend with me. Chapter 8. Shalom, shalom. These are the heads of families and the genealogies of those who ascended with me from Babylon during the reign of King Artaxerxes. Of the sons of Phinehas, Gershom; of the sons of Ithamar, Daniel; of the sons of David, Hattush; of the sons of Shechaniah; of the sons of Pharosh, Zechariah, and with him 150 males, trace their lineage. Of the sons of the governor of Moab, Elihonai, son of Zerahiah, and with him 200 males. Of the sons of Shechaniah, the son of Jahaziel, and with him 300 males. Of the sons of Adin, Abed, son of Jonathan, and with him 50 males. Of the sons of Elam, Jeshiah, son of Athaliah, and with him 70 males. Of the sons of Shephatiah, Zedediah, son of Michael, and with him 80 males. Of the sons of Joab, Obadiah, son of Jehiel, and with him 218 males. Of the sons of Shelomith, the son of Josephiah, and with him 160 males. Of the sons of Babai, Zechariah, son of Babai, and with him 28 males. Of the sons of Azgad, Johanan, the son of Hakatan, and with him 110 males. Of the sons of Adonikam, the last ones, and these were their names: Eliphalet, Jael, and Shemaiah, and with them 60 males. And of the sons of Bigvai, Uthai, and Zakor, and with them 70 males. I assembled them at the flowing river, at the Ahava, and we encamped there for 3 days. I then scrutinized the people in the Kohanim, but I could find no Levites there. So I dispatched the leaders, Eleazar, Ariel, Shemaiah, Elnathan, Jarib, Elnathan, Nathan, Zechariah, and Meshullam, and the sages Joyarib and Elnath. How many Elnathans y'all got? I see 3 Elnathans. I directed them to the leader Edo in the place, Casaphiah, and I gave them a message to convey to Edo and his brother, who are settled in the place Casaphiah, to bring us ministers for the temple of our Elohim. By the benevolence of the hand of our Elohim to us, they brought us to a wise man of the descendants of Mali, grandson of Levi, son of Yasharal, and Sherebiah, and 18 of his sons and kinsmen, and Hashabiah, and with him Isaiah, of the sons of Merari, and 20 of his kinsmen and their sons, and of the Nethinim, whom David and his officers had designated for the service of the Levites, 220 Nethinim, all of them designated by name. I proclaimed a fast there on the river Ahava, to afflict ourselves before Elohim and beseech him for favorable passage for us. for our young children, and for all our possessions. For I was embarrassed to request troops and horsemen of the king to assist us against an adversary along the way, since we had told the king that the hand of our Elohim is benevolent to all who seek him, and his might and anger befall all who forsake him. So we fasted and beseeched our Elohim for this, and he granted our prayers. I then set aside 12 of the chiefs of the Kohanim, Sherebiah, Hashabiah, and 10 of their brethren with them. I weighed out to them the silver and the gold and the vessels, contributions for the temple of our Elohim that were donated by the king and his counselors and his officers and all the Yasharal who were present. I weighed out into their hand 650 talents of silver, 100 silver vessels, each a talent, 100 talents of gold, 20 golden bowls, weighing 1,000 darkons, and 2 vessels of fine golden colored copper, as splendid as gold. I said to them, you are sacred to Yahweh, and the vessels are sacred, and the silver and the gold are contributions to Yahweh, Elohim of your forefathers. Be diligent and guard them until you weigh them over before the chiefs of the Kohanim and Levites, and the head of the families of Yasharal in Jerusalem for the chambers of the temple of Yahweh. The Kohanim and the Levites thus accepted the weight of the silver and the gold and the vessels to bring to Jerusalem for the temple of Elohim. We departed from the river Ahava on the 12th of the first month to go to Jerusalem, and the hand of our Elohim assisted us, and he saved us from the hand of any enemy and ambush along the way. We arrived in Jerusalem and remained there for 3 days. On the 4th day, the silver and the gold and the vessels were weighed over at the temple of our Elohim by the hand of Meremoth, son of Uriah the Kohen, along with Eleazar, son of Phinehas, and with them Josabad, son of Jeshua, and Noadiah, son of Binnui, the Levites, with a count and with a weight for everything, and all the weight was recorded at that time. The people of the exile returning from the captivity brought as burnt offerings to the Elohim of Yasharal 12 bulls for all the tribes of Yasharal, 96 rams, 77 sheep, 12 goats as sin offerings brought up on the altar in their entirety as offerings to Yahweh. They delivered the royal decrees to the king's satraps and the governors of the Trans-Euphrates region, who then showed respect for the people in the temple of Yahweh of Elohim. Chapter 9. When these matters were concluded, the officers approached me, saying, the people of Yasharal, the Kohanim, and the Levites had not kept themselves apart from the peoples of the lands, doing like the abominations of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Jebusite, the Ammonite, the Moabite, the Egyptian, and the Amorite. For they have taken of their daughters in marriage for themselves and for their sons, and the sacred offspring of Yasharal have intermingled with the peoples of the land. And the hand of the officers and the chiefs have been foremost in this transgression. When I heard this thing, I tore my garment and my cloak, tore hair from my head and my beard, and I sat down in silence. Everyone who hastened at the word of the Elohim of Yasharal then gathered around me concerning the transgression of the exile, while I sat in silence until the time of the afternoon offering. At the afternoon offering I arose from my fast, with my garment and my cloak torn, and I fell upon my knees and spread out my palms to Yahweh, my Elohim. I said, my Elohim, I am embarrassed and ashamed to lift my face to you. My Elohim, for our iniquities have multiplied over our head, and our sins extend up to the heavens. From the days of our forefathers we have been in great guilt until this day, and because of our iniquities we have been delivered. We are kings and our Kohanim into the hands of the kings of the land, to the sword, to captivity, and to plunder, and to shamefacedness, as of this very day. And now, for a fleeting moment, favor has been bestowed by Yahweh our Elohim, to leave us a remnant and to grant us a stake in his sacred place for our Elohim to enlighten our eyes, and to give us a slight revival in our servitude. For we are slaves, but our Elohim has not forsaken us in our servitude, and he has extended kindness over us before the kings of Persia to grant us a revival, to raise up the temple of our Elohim, and to restore its ruins, and to provide us with a fence in Judah and in Jerusalem. So now what can we say of our Elohim after this? For we have forsaken your commandments, which you have commanded through your servants, the prophets, saying, the land that you are approaching to inherit is a land of repulsiveness, because of the repulsiveness of the peoples of the land, because of their abominations with which they have filled it from end to end with their defilement. So now, do not give your daughters to their sons, and do not wed their daughters to your sons, and do not seek after their peace and their well-being forever, so that you may possess and eat of the goodness of the land, and bequeath it to your sons forever. After all that has befallen us for our evil deeds and our great guilt, yet you, our Elohim, have withheld retribution to less than our iniquities deserve, and have granted us this remnant. Shall we again violate your commandments and intermarry with the peoples of these abominations? Surely you will become enraged at us until our destruction without remnant or survival. Yahweh, NehemiYaH, you are charitable, for we have survived as a remnant to this very day. Behold, we are before you in our guilt, for we are unworthy to stand before you because of this. Chapter 10. As Ezra prayed, and as he confessed, weeping and prostrating himself before the temple of Elohim, there gathered near him an exceedingly large congregation from Yasharol, men, women, and children, for the people wept profusely. Then Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, of the sons of Elam, spoke up and said to Ezra, we have transgressed against our Elohim, and have taken in alien women of the peoples of the land. But now there is hope for Yasharol concerning this. So now let us seal a covenant with our Elohim to send away all of the women and those born from them, according to the counsel of Adonai and those who hasten at the commandment of our Elohim. Let it be done according to the Torah. Arise, for the matter rests upon you, and we are with you. Be strong and act. So Ezra arose and administered an oath to the chiefs of the Kohanim, the Levites, and all the Yasharol to carry out this matter. And they swore. Ezra then arose from before the temple of Elohim and went to the chamber of Johanan, son of Eliashib. He went there, but he did not eat any bread and did not drink any water, for he was mourning over the faithlessness of the exiles. So don't that right there prove that in exile you're still supposed to try to keep the law? I'm saying the exiles wasn't living according to the commandments. It didn't matter that they weren't in the land. A proclamation was issued in Judah and Jerusalem to all the people of the exile to assemble in Jerusalem, and that if anyone failed to come within 3 days, in accordance with the counsel of the officers and the elders, all his property will be destroyed, and he will be isolated from the congregation of the exile. All the men of Judah and Benjamin assembled in Jerusalem within 3 days, which was in the 9th month. On the 20th of the month, all the people sat in the plaza of the temple of Elohim trembling because of the matter and from the rains. Hold up. Ezra the Kohen arose and said to them, you have been unfaithful and have taken in alien wives, adding to Yasharal's guilt. So now make a confession before Yahweh, Elohim of your forefathers, and perform his will, and separate yourself from the peoples of the land and from the alien wives. The entire congregation then called out and exclaimed in a loud voice, it is true, we must do as you say. But there are many people, and it is the rainy season, and there is no strength to remain outdoors. This is not a test for 1 day or for 2 days, for we have sinned abundantly in this matter. Let our chiefs now remain with the entire congregation, and let all those in our cities who have taken in alien wives appear at designated times, accompanied by the elders and judges of each city, until we cause the burning wrath of our Elohim to recede from us, until this matter is resolved. Only Jonathan, son of Asahel, and Jaziah, son of Tikva, stood against this, and Meshullam and Shabbathai the Levite supported them. The people of the exile did so. Ezra the Kohen and the distinguished men who were the heads of the families, all of them renowned, separated themselves and convened on the first day of the 10th month to investigate the matter. They finished dealing with all the men who had taken in alien wives by the first day of the first month. Among the sons of the Kohanim who were found to have taken in alien wives were of the sons of Jeshua, son of Josedek, and his brethren, Maaseiah, Eleazar, Jarib, and Gedaliah. They gave their hand in oath to send away their wives and to offer a guilt offering of a ram from the flock for their guilt. And of the sons of Immer, Hanani, and Zebediah, and of the sons of Harim, Maaseiah, Elijah, Shemaiah, Jehiel, and Uzziah, and of the sons of Pashur, Elionai, Maaseiah, Ishmael, Nathanael, Josabed, and Elasa. And from the Levites, Josabed, Shammai, Kaliah, he is Kalita, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eleazar. And from the singers, Eliashib, and from the gatekeepers, Shallum, Telem, and Uri. And of Yasharol are the sons of Parosh, Ramiah, Isaiah, Malchijah, Miamin, Eleazar, Abdi, Jeremoth, and Elijah. And of the sons of Jatul, Elionai, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Jeremoth, Zabad, and Aziza. And of the sons of Babad, Jehanan, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabai, and Athli. And of the sons of Bani, Meshullam, Maluk, Adiah, Jashub, Shael, and Ramoth. And of the sons of the governor of Moab, Adnah, Shalal, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mattaniah, Bezalel, Benui, and Manasseh. And the sons of Harim, Eleazar, Issachar, Malchiah, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Maluk, and Shamariah. Of the sons of Hashum, Mattanai, Matata, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shammai. Of the sons of Bani, Maadai, Amram, Uel, Benaiah, Bediah, Cheluhu, Vanaiah, Meremoth, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Mattanai, Jaasai, Bani, Benui, Shammai, Shelemiah, Nathan, Adiah, Machnadabai, Shashai, Sharai, Azarel, Shelemiah, Shemariah, Shallum, Amariah, and Joseph. Of the sons of Nebo, Jael, Mattithiah, Zabad, Zabina, Jedi, Joel, and Benaiah. All these had married alien wives, some of them wives by whom they had children. And that's the end of Ezra. And we'll jump straight into Nehemiah. The words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. It was during the month of Kislev of the 20th year, and I was in the capital city of Shushan. Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and men from Judah, and I inquired of them about the Jews who had survived, who remained of the captivity, and about Jerusalem. They said to me, the remaining ones who remained of the captivity there in the province are in great misery and humiliation. The wall of Jerusalem is breached, and its gates have been set afire. It was when I heard these words that I sat and wept and grieved for days, and fasted and prayed before the Elohim of heavens. I said, I beseech you, Yahweh, Elohim of the heavens, the great and awesome Elohim, keeper of the covenant and of kindness for those who love him, and for those who observe his commandments. Please may your ear be attentive and your eyes open to listen to your servant's prayer, which I pray before you today, day and night, for the children of Yasharal, your servants. I confess to the sins of the children of Yasharal that we have sinned against you. I and my father's household have sinned. We have been destructive towards you. We have not observed the commandments, the precepts and the laws that you commanded your servant Moses. Remember, please, the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, if you will act with treachery, I will disperse you among the nations. But when you return to me and observe my commandments and perform them, even if the banished among you reach the ends of the heavens, I shall gather them from there and bring them to the place that I have chosen to rest my name there. For they are your servants and your people whom you redeemed with your great strength and with your powerful hand. I beseech you, my Adonai, please let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who desire to fear your name, and grant your servant success this day, and make him the object of compassion before this man. I was the king's cupbearer. Chapter 2. It happened in the month of Nisan of the 20th year of King Artaxerxes that wine was brought before him. I carried the wine and gave it to the king. I had never before appeared downcast in his presence. So the king said to me, why is your face downcast? You are not ill. This can only signify that there is evil in your heart. I became very frightened. I said to the king, may the king live forever. Why should my face not be downcast when the city of my ancestors' graves is in ruin and its gates are consumed by fire? The king said to me, what is it that you request? I then prayed to the Elohim of heaven, and I said to the king, if it please the king, and if your servant is worthy before you, then send me to Judah, to the city of my ancestors' graves, that I may rebuild it. The king said to me, with the queen sitting behind him, when will you depart, and when will you return? It pleased the king, and he gave me leave, and I gave him my time. Then I said to the king, if it please the king, let them give me letters for the governors of the Trans-Euphrates region, so that they will grant me passage until I arrive in Judah. And the letter for Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he should give me timber to roof the gates of the temple complex, and for the walls of the city, and for the home into which I will enter. The king granted me this by the hand of my Elohim, which was benevolent to me. I came to the governors of the Trans-Euphrates region and gave them the king's letters. The king had sent army officers and horsemen with me. Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite slave heard, and they were extremely disturbed that someone had come to seek the welfare of the children of Yisrael. I arrived in Jerusalem and was there for 3 days. I arose during the night, I and a few people with me, but I did not tell anyone what my Elohim had set in my heart to do for Jerusalem. I had no animal with me, except the animal upon which I was riding. I went out at night through the gate of the valley, towards the direction of the serpent spring, to the dung gate. I contemplated the walls of Jerusalem which had been breached, and its gates consumed by fire. I then passed on to the spring gate in the king's pool, but there was no room for the animal under me to pass. I went up the valley in the night, and I contemplated the wall. Then I turned back and I entered by the gate of the valley, and returned. The nobles did not know where I had gone, nor what I was doing, for I had not yet informed the Jews and the Kohanim and the aristocrats and the nobles and the others who did the work. So I said to them, you see the bad situation we are in, that Jerusalem is in ruin and its gates have been burned in fire. Come, let us build the wall of Jerusalem so that we will no longer be a source of humiliation. I told them of the hand of my Elohim, which was benevolent to me, and also of the king's words that he had said to me. They said, let us get up and build. And they strengthened their hands in resolve for the benefit of the city. Sanballat the Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite slave, and Geshem the Arab heard. They ridiculed us and were contemptuous of us and said, what is this thing you are doing? Are you rebelling against the king? I answered them a word, and I said to them, the Elohim of heaven will grant us success, and we, his servants, will arise and build. But you have no portion, nor merit, nor remembrance in Jerusalem. Chapter 3. Eliashib the Kohen Gadol arose, along with his brethren the Kohanim, and they rebuilt the sheep gate. They sanctified it and erected its doors. They sanctified the wall up to the tower of Hameah and up to the tower of Hananel. Next to him, the men of Jericho built the wall, and next to him, Zakur, son of Imri, built. The children of Hasenaah built the fish gate. They roofed it and erected its doors, its locks, and its bars. Next to them, Meremoth, son of Ariah, son of Hakoz, reinforced the wall. Next to them, Meshullam, son of Berechiah, son of Meshezabel, reinforced. Next to them, Zadok, son of Baana, reinforced. Next to them, the Tekoites reinforced, but their dignitaries did not put their necks to the labor of their Adonai. Joada, son of Paseah, and Meshullam, son of Besodeah, reinforced the old gate. They roofed it and erected its doors, its locks, and its bars. Next to them, Melatiah the Gibeonite, Jadon the Ramonathite, and the men of Gibeon and Mizpah reinforced up to the seat of the governor of the Trans-Euphrates region. Next to him, Uzziel, son of Harhiah of the goldsmiths, reinforced. Next to him, Hananiah, son of the perfumers, reinforced. They fortified Jerusalem up to the broad wall. Next to them, Raphiah, son of Hur, the officer over half the district of Jerusalem, reinforced. Next to them, opposite his house, Jediah, son of Harumath, reinforced. Next to him, Hattush, son of Hashabneiah, reinforced. Malchijah, son of Harim, and Hashub, son of the governor of Moab, reinforced a similar measure. And the tower of the ovens. Next to him, Shallum, son of Halohesh, the officer over half the district of Jerusalem, reinforced. He, together with his daughters, Hanun, and the inhabitants of Zanoah, reinforced the gate of the valley. They built it and erected its doors, its locks, and its bars, along with 1,000 cubits of the wall up to the dung gate. Malchijah, son of Rechab, officer of the district of Beth Sharem, reinforced the dung gate, and he built it and erected its doors, its locks, and its bars. Shallum, son of Hosea, officer of the district of Mizpah, reinforced the spring gate. He built it, covered it, and erected its doors, its locks, and its bars, and also the wall of the pool of Shelah up to the king's garden and up to the steps descending from the city of David. What was I at? Beyond this, Nehemiah, son of Azbuk, the officer of half the district of Beth Zur, reinforced up to opposite the graves of David, and up to the man-made pool, and up to the house of the warriors. Beyond this, the Levites reinforced. Rehum, son of Bani, next to him, Hashabiah, officer of half the district of Keilah, and his district reinforced. After him, their brothers, under Bavai, son of Hanadad, officer of half the district of Keilah, reinforced. Next to him, Ezra, son of Jeshua, officer of Mizpah, reinforced a similar measure, opposite the ascent to the armory at the corner. After him, Baruch, son of Zakai, enthusiastically reinforced a similar measure, from the corner up to the entrance of the house of Eliashib, the Kohen Gadol. After him, Meremoth, son of Ariah, son of Hakoz, reinforced a similar measure, from the entrance of Eliashib's house to the end of Eliashib's house. Wait, what? Oh, from the entrance of Eliashib's house up to the end of Eliashib's house. After him, the Kohanim, men of the plain, reinforced. After him, Benjamin and Hashub, opposite their houses. After him, Azariah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ananiah, reinforced near his house. After him, Benui, son of Henadad, reinforced a similar measure, from the house of Azariah up to the corner and up to the tower. Palal, son of Uzai, opposite the corner and the tower that extends from the king's upper house, which is adjacent to the prison courtyard. After him, Pedaiah, son of Parosh, the Nethanim, who dwell in Ophel, up to opposite the water gate on the east, and also the extending tower. After him, the Tekoites reinforced a similar measure, from opposite the great extending tower up to the wall of the Ophel. The Kohanim reinforced above the courser's gate, each one opposite his home. After him, Zadok, son of Immer, reinforced opposite his house. After him, Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, guard of the eastern gate, reinforced. After him, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the sixth son of Zalaph, reinforced a similar measure. After him, Meshullam, son of Berechiah, reinforced opposite his chamber. After him, Malachiah, the son of the goldsmith, reinforced up to the house of the Nethinim and the merchants, opposite Hamifkah gate, up to the tower ascent. The smiths and merchants reinforced between the tower ascent and the sheep gate. It happened when Sanballat heard that we were building the wall that he became enraged and he grew extremely angry, and he ridiculed the Jews. He spoke before his compatriots and the populace of Samaria and said, "What are these Jewish weaklings doing? Will they reinforce the wall? Will they bring offerings? Can they finish in a day? Can they restore the stones out of the mounds of dirt when they have been charred?" Tobiah the Ammonite was next to him, and he said, "Even that which they build, if even a fox were to go up, he would breach their stone wall. Here are Elohim that we are an object of scorn. Return their humiliation upon their own heads. Make them despoiled in the land of captivity. Do not cover up their sins, nor let their transgressions be eradicated from before you, for they have reviled the builders. Yet we built the wall. When the entire wall was joined halfway, the people were heartened to accomplish." Chapter 4. It happened when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were being healed, that the breaches had begun to be sealed. They grew extremely angry. So they all banded together to come and do battle in Jerusalem and to bring ruin upon it. So we prayed to our Elohim, and we set up a guard over the workers, by day and by night against them. Then the men of Judah said, "The strength of the bearer is failing, and the earth is abundant. We are not able to build the wall." And our enemies said, "They will not know us nor see us before we come among them and kill them, and we halt the work." But then when Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times, "From all the places to which you return, they will come against us," I set up defenders beneath the site. Behind the wall, on the cliffs, I set up the people by the families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. When I saw, I got up and said to the aristocrats and to the nobles and to the rest of the people, "Do not fear them. Remember the great and awesome Adonai, and fight for your brothers, your sons, and your daughters, and your wives, and your homes." It happened when our enemies heard that it had become known to us that Elohim annulled their scheme. We all then returned to the wall, each man to his work. It happened from that day onward that half of my youths did the work, and half of them held the spears, the shields, and the bows, and the armor, and the shield, and the officers backed the entire house of Judah. Those who built the walls and those who lifted and carried the burdens would do their work with one hand, while one hand held a weapon. As for the builders, each man's sword was girded at his side as they built. The one who sounded the shofar was next to me. I said to the aristocrats and to the nobles and to the rest of the people, "The work is great and extensive, and we are dispersed along the wall, distant from one another. To the place where you hear the sound of the shofar, there you are to gather yourselves to us. Our Elohim will fight for us." So we did the work, with half of them grasping the spears, from the rising of the dawn until the emergence of the stars. Also at that time I said to the people, that each man and his attendant spend the night in Jerusalem. Thus the night was a watch for us, and the day was for work. Thus neither I, nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men of the watch who were under me, none of us removed our garments. No one disrobed, even to launder and water. Chapter 5. Now the outcry of the people and their wives concerning their Jewish brethren was great. There were those who said, with our sons and our daughters, we are numerous, and we must buy grain that we may eat and remain alive. And there were those who said, we are mortgaging our fields and our vineyards and our homes to buy grain during the famine. And there were those who said, we have borrowed money against our fields and our vineyards for the that's a lot, for the king's tax. Now our flesh is as worthy as the flesh of our brethren, and our sons are as worthy as their sons. Yet we must press our sons and our daughters into being servants. Some of our daughters have been pressed into servitude, and our hands do not have the means to redeem them, and our fields and our vineyards are held by others. I became very angry when I heard their outcry in these matters. Then my heart moved me, and I confronted the aristocrats and the nobles and said to them, are you creditors of loans against your brothers? And I gathered a large crowd against them. I said to them, we have ransomed our brother Jews who were sold to Gentiles for as much as we could afford. Now will you sell your brothers again, only to be resold to us? They were silent. They could not find a response. Then I said, the thing you are doing is not good. Surely you should walk with the fear of our Elohim, because of the scorn of the nations, our enemies. I and my brethren and my servants as well have lent them money and grain. Let us all now relinquish this debt. Return to them now, this very day, their fields, their vineyards, their olive orchards, and their homes, as well as the hundreds in money and the grain, the wine, and the oil that you hold against them. They replied, we shall return it all, and we will make no demands of them. We shall do as you say. Then I summoned the Kohanim, and I administered an oath upon them to act in accordance with this matter. I also shook the hem of my garment and said, so may Elohim shake out from his home and from his toil any man who does not fulfill this matter, and so may he remain, shaken out and empty. The entire congregation said, Amen, and they praised Yahweh, and the people acted in accordance with this matter. Moreover, from the day that the king appointed me as governor of the land of Judah, from the 20th year until the 32nd year of King Artaxerxes, 12 years, I and my brethren did not eat of the governor's food. The former governors who were before me had imposed burdens upon the people, and taken bread and wine from them, in addition to 40 silver shekels, and also their servants domineered over the people. But I did not do so, because of my fear of Elohim. Also I supported the work of this wall, so we did not buy any field, and all of my servants were gathered there for work. Ordinary Jews and nobles, 150 men, in addition to those proselytes who came to us from the nations around us, were at my table. That which was prepared each day was one bull, 6 selected sheep, and fowl prepared for me, and every 10 days a multitude of all sorts of wine. Yet despite this I did not request the governor's food, for the labor weighed heavily upon his people. Remember in my favor, O my Elohim, all that I did for this people. Chapter 6. Shalom Dot. Shalom Divine. Now when it was reported to Sambalat and Tobiah and to Geshem, the Arab, and to the rest of our enemies that I had built the wall and no breach remained in it, and also that as of that time I had not yet erected doors and the gateways, Sambalat and Geshem sent word to me, saying, come, let us meet at Shepharim and the valley of Ono. But I understood that they were planning to harm me. I sent envoys to them, saying, I am involved in a great work, and I am unable to come down. Why should the work be halted when I leave it and come down to you? They sent me this message 4 times, and I replied to them the same way. Then Sambalat sent me the same message a 5th time with his servant, with an open letter in his hand. It was written in these words, it has been heard among the nations, and Geshem confirms it, that you and the Jews plan to rebel, and that is why you are building the wall, and that you are becoming their king, and similar things, and that you have also set up prophets to proclaim about you in Jerusalem, saying, there is a king in Judah. Now these things will be heard by the king. So now, come and let us take counsel together. I sent word to him, saying, these things that you say have never happened. You have fabricated them from your heart. For all You all try to frighten us, saying, let the resolve of their hands for doing the work be weakened, so that it will not be done. But now you strengthen my hand. I then came to the home of Shemaiah, son of Deliah, son of Mehetabel, who was confined indoors. He said, let us meet at the temple of Elohim inside the sanctuary, and let us close the sanctuary doors, for they are coming to kill you. Tonight they are coming to kill you. But I said, can a man like me run away? And who, being like me, may enter the sanctuary and live? I will not come. Then I realized that, behold, Elohim had not sent him, for he had spoken as if it was a prophecy for me. Rather, Tobiah or Sambalat had hired him. It was because he was a hireling, so that I would be frightened, comply, and sin, so that they would have a scandal with which to humiliate me. My Elohim, recall for Tobiah and Sambalat these deeds of his, and also for Noadiah the prophetess, and the rest of the false prophets who tried to intimidate me. The war was completed on the 25th of Elul, after 52 days. It happened when all our enemies heard this, and all the nations around us saw, they fell greatly in their own eyes, for they realized that this work was accomplished by our Elohim. But even in those days, the aristocrats of Judah wrote many letters addressed to Tobiah, and Tobias came to them. For many people in Judah had sworn allegiance to him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, son of Arah, and his son Jehohanan had married the daughter of Meshullam, son of Berechiah. They would also recite his merits before me, and pass along my remarks to him, and Tobiah sent letters to intimidate me. Chapter 7. Chapter 7. It happened after the wall was built, and I had erected its doors, that the gatekeepers and the singers and the other Levites were designated. I then appointed Hanani, my brother, and Hananiah, officer of the palace, over Jerusalem, for Hananiah was a man of truth, and had long been Elohim fearing. I said to them, let the gates of Jerusalem not be opened until the heat of the day, and while they are standing there, let them shut the doors and secure them. Also establish watches by the inhabitants of Jerusalem, each man at his watch, and each man opposite his home. For the city had wide open spaces and was large, but there were few people in it, and houses had not been built. Then my Elohim inspired me, and I assembled the aristocrats and the nobles, and the people to trace their lineage. I found the book of lineage of those who had ascended at first, and found written in it, these are the people of the country who ascended from the captivity of the exile that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia, had exiled, who returned to Jerusalem and Judah, each man to his city, who came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Azariah, Raamiah, Nahamani, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mizpereth, Bigvai, Nahum, Baana, who comprised the sum of dignitaries of the people of Yasharal. The children of Parosh, 2,172. The children of Shephatiah, 372. The children of Arah, 652. The children of the governor of Moab, of the children of Jeshua and Joab, 2,818. The children of Elam, 1,254. The children of Zatu, 845. The children of Zakai, 760. The children of Benui, 648. The children of Babai, 628. The children of Asgad, 2,362. Oh, no, I'm tripping. 2,322. The children of Adonikam, 667. The children of Bigvai, 2067. The children of Adin, 655. The children of Ater of Hezekiah, 98. The children of Hashum, 328. The children of Bazai, 324. The children of Harif, 112. The people of Gibeon, 95. The people of Bethlehem and Netopha, 188. The children of Anathoth, 128. The people of Beth Asmaveth, 42. The people of Kiriath Jearim, Chephirah and Beeroth, 743. The people of Ramah and Geba, 621. The people of Michmas, 122. The people of Bethel and Ai, 123. The people of Nebo Ahir, 52. The people of a different Elam, 1,254. The people of Harim, 320. The people of Jericho, 345. The people of Law, Hadid and Ono, 721. The people of Sana'a, 3,930. The Kohanim, the children of Jedediah of the house of Jeshua, 973. The children of Immer, 1,052. The children of Pashur, 1,247. The children of Harim, 1,017. The Levites, the children of Jeshua and Kadmiel of the children of Hadiv, 74. The singers, the children of Asaph, 148. The gatekeepers, the children of Shalom, the children of Ater, the children of Taman, the children of Akub, the children of Hatita, the children of Shobai, 138. The Nethanim, the children of Zihar, the children of Hasufa, the children of Tabaoth, the children of Karos, the children of Seah, the children of Padon, the children of Labanah, the children of Hagabah, the children of Salmai, the children of Hanan, the children of Gedel, the children of Gahar, the children of Re'ah, the children of Rezin, the children of Nakoda, the children of Gazam, the children of Uzzah, the children of Paseah, the children of Basai, the children of Munim, the children of Naphishasim, the children of Bakbuk, the children of Hakufa, the children of Har, the children of Bazlith, the children of Mahida, the children of Harsha, the children of Barkos, the children of Sisera, the children of Tamar, the children of Naziah, the children of Hatifa, the children of Solomon's slaves, the children of Sotai, the children of Sophareth, the children of Parida, the children of Jaiah, the children of Darkon, the children of Gedel, the children of, of Shephatiah, the children of Hatil, the children of Pakareth, Hazabaim, the children of Ammon. Of all of the Nethanim and the children of Solomon's slaves were 392. These are the ones who went up from Talmalah, Harsha, Jerub, Adon, and Immer, and could not declare their fathers' families and their descent, whether they were from Yasharol. The children of Deliah, the children of Tobiah, the children of Nakoda, 642. Of the Kohanim, the children of Habiah, the children of Hakoz, the children of Barzillai, who took wives from the daughters of Barzillai of Gilead, who were called by their name. These sought their genealogical record, but it could not be found, so they were disqualified from the priesthood. Hatishatha told them that they should not eat of the most holy offerings until there would arise a Kohen to inquire of the Urim and the Thummim. The entire congregation together numbered 42,360, besides their male slaves and female slaves, of which there were 7,337. They also had 245 male singers and female singers. The camels numbered 435, the donkeys 6,720. Some of the family heads contributed for the work. Hatir Shathar contributed to the treasury of gold, 1,000 golden darkamons, and 50 basins, and priestly robes, 530. Some of the heads of the families contributed to the work fund of gold, 20,000 darkamans, and of silver, 2,200 manes. What the rest of the people contributed was of gold, 20,000 darkamans, of silver, 2,000 manes, and 67 priestly tunics. The Kohanim and the Levites and the gatekeepers and the singers and some of the people and the Nethinim and all of Yasharal settled in their cities. The 7th month arrived, and the children of Yasharal were settled in their cities. Chapter 8. Then all the people gathered together as one man at the plaza before the water gate, and they asked Ezra the scholar to bring a scroll of the Torah, the scroll of the Torah of Moses, which Yahweh had commanded to Yasharal. So Ezra the Kohen brought the Torah before the congregation, men and women, and all those who could listen with understanding, on the first day of the 7th month. He read it from before the plaza, that is before the water gate, from the first light until midday, in front of the common men and women and those who understood, and the ears of all the people were attentive to the Torah scroll. Ezra the scholar stood on a wooden tower that they had made for the purpose. Next to him stood Mattathiah, as well as Shema, Ananiah, Uriah, Hilkiah, and Maaseiah on his right, and on his left, Pedaiah, Mishael, Malchiah, Hashum, Hashbadana, Zechariah, and Meshullam. Real quick. Ezra opened the scroll before the eyes of all the people, for he was above the people. And when he opened it, all the people stood silent. Ezra blessed Yahweh, the great Elohim, and all the people answered, Aman and Aman, Aman, with their hands upraised. Then they bowed and prostrated themselves before Yahweh, faces to the ground. Jeshua, Bani, Sherebiah, Jamin, Akub, Shabbatai, Hodiah, Maaseiah, Kalita, Azariah, Josabad, Hanan, Peliah, and the Levites helped the people understand the Torah, while the people stood in their place. They read in the scroll in Elohim's Torah clearly, with the application of wisdom, and they helped the people understand the reading. Then Nehemiah, who is Hatir, as well as Ezra the Kohen, the scholar, and the Levites who were helping the people understand, said to all the people, "Today is sacred to to Yahweh your Elohim. Do not mourn and do not weep." For all the people were weeping as they heard the words of the Torah. He said to them, "Go eat rich foods and drink sweet beverages, and send portions to those who have nothing prepared. For today is sacred to our Adonai. Do not be sad. The enjoyment of Yahweh is your strength." And the Levites quieted all the people, saying, "Be silent, for this day is sacred, and do not be sad." So all the people went to eat and drink, and to send portions to the needy, and to engage in great rejoicing, for they had understood the matters of which they had informed them. On the second day, the heads of the families of all the people, the Kohanim and the Levites, gathered together to Ezra the scholar, to delve into the words of the Torah. They found written in the Torah that Yahweh had commanded through the hand of Moses that the children of Yasharal should dwell in Sukkot during the festival, that is, in the 7th month. They commanded that they should announce it and make a proclamation in all their cities and in Jerusalem, saying, "Go out to the mountain and get branches with olive leaves, pine needles, myrtle leaves, palm leaves, and leaves of the braided tree, to make a sukkos, as written in the Torah." So the people went out and brought these items and made themselves sukkos, each man on his roof, and in their courtyards, in the courtyards of the temple of Elohim, in the plaza of the water gate, and in the plaza of the gate of Ephraim. The entire congregation that had returned from the captivity made sukkos and dwelt in sukkos. The children of Yasharal had not done so, from the days of Joshua son of Nun until that day, and there was very great joy. Ezra read in the scroll of Elohim's Torah day by day, from the first day until the last day. They observed the festival for 7 days, and the assembly on the 8th day, according to the law. Chapter 9. On the 24th day of this month, the children of Yasharal gathered together, and fasting and wearing sackcloth, with earth upon them. The offspring of Yasharal had separated themselves from all the alien people. And then they rose and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. They stood in their place and read from the scroll of the Torah of Yahweh, their Elohim, 1/4 of the day, and another quarter they confessed and prostrated themselves before Yahweh, their Elohim. Then Jeshua stood upon the platform of the Levites with Bani, Kadmiel, Shebaniah, Buni, Sherebiah, Bani, and Chenani, and they cried out in a loud voice to Yahweh, their Elohim. The Levites, Jeshua, Kadmiel, Bani, Hashabneiah, Sherebiah, Hodiah, Shebaniah, and Pethahiah, said, Rise up and bless Yahweh your Elohim, from this world to the world to come. Let them bless your glorious name, which is exalted above every blessing and praise. You alone are Yahweh. You made the heavens, the most exalted heaven and all their legion, the earth and all that is upon it, the seas and all that is in them, and you give them all life. And the heavenly legion bows to you. You are Yahweh the Elohim. You selected Abram and brought him out of Ur of the Chaldees, and changed his name to Abraham. You found his heart faithful before you, and you sealed the covenant with him to give the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite, and the Girgashite, to give it to his offspring, and you affirmed your word, for you are righteous. You observed the suffering of our forefathers in Egypt, and you heard their outcry at the Sea of Reeds. You imposed signs and wonders upon Pharaoh and upon all his servants, and upon all the people of his land, for you knew that they had sinned willfully against them, and you brought yourself renown, as clear as this very day. You split the sea before them, and they crossed in the midst of the sea on dry land, but you hurled their pursuers into the depths, like a stone in turbulent waters. You led them by day with a pillar of cloud and with a pillar of fire by night, to illuminate for them the way they were to travel. You descended upon Mount Sinai and spoke to them from heaven. You gave them righteous laws and true teachings, and beneficial decrees and commandments. You made known your sacred Sabbath to them, and you instructed them with commandments, decrees, and teaching through the hand of your servant Moses. You gave them bread from heaven for their hunger, and brought forth water from a rock for their thirst. You told them to enter and inherit the land about which you had raised your hand and oath to give to them. But they and their forefathers sinned willfully. They stiffened their necks and did not listen to your commandments. They refused to listen and they did not remember your marvels that you had performed for them. They stiffened their necks, and their rebelliousness appointed a leader to return to their bondage. But you are the Elohim of forgiveness, gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abundant in kindness. So you did not forsake them, even when they made themselves a molten calf and said, This is your God who brought you up from Egypt, and they performed great provocations. But you, in your great compassion, did not forsake them in the wilderness. The pillar of cloud did not turn away from them by day to lead them on the way, nor the pillar of fire by night to provide illumination upon them and upon the way which they were to travel. You bestowed your good spirit to make them understand. You did not withhold your manna from their mouths, and you gave them water for their thirst. For 40 years you sustained them in the wilderness, and they lacked nothing. Their clothing did not wear out, and their feet did not swell. Then you gave them kingdoms and nations, and separated them into a corner. They took possession of the land of Sihon, the land of the king of Heshbon, and the land of Og, king of Bashan. You multiplied their children like the stars of the heavens, and you brought them out to the land about which you had spoken to their forefathers that they would come and take possession. The children came and took possession of the land, and you subdued inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, before them, and delivered them into their hand, along with their kings and the peoples of the land, to do with them as they pleased. They captured fortified cities and a fertile land. They took possession of houses filled with every good thing, chiseled cisterns, vineyards, and olive trees, and abundant fruit trees. So they ate and became satiated and fattened and took delight in your great bounty. Then they became recalcitrant and rebelled against you, casting your Torah behind their backs. They killed your prophets who had warned them in order to make them return to you, and they committed great provocations. So you delivered them into the hands of their enemies, and they afflicted them. But at the time of their affliction, they would cry out to you, and you would hear from heaven. And in your abundant compassion, you would send them saviors who would save them from the hand of their enemies. But when it would ease for them, they would revert to doing evil before you. So you would abandon them into the hand of their enemies who would oppress them. Then they would once again cry out to you, and you would hear from heaven, and in your compassion you would rescue them numerous times. You warned them to return to your Torah, but they acted wickedly and did not listen to your commandments and transgressed through your laws, which a man should do in order that he may live through them. They turned a rebellious shoulder away and stiffened their necks and did not listen. Yet you extended grace to them for many years, and you warned them by your spirit through the hand of your prophets, but they did not give ear. So you delivered them into the hand of the peoples of the land. In your abundant compassion, you did not annihilate them, and you did not abandon them, for you are a gracious and compassionate God, Elohim. And now our Elohim, the great, powerful, and awesome Elohim, who observes the covenant and the kindness, let all the travails that have befallen us, our kings, our rulers, and our Kohanim, and our prophets, and our forefathers, and all your people, from the days of the kings of Assyria until this day, not be considered lightly before you. You are righteous in all that has come upon us, for you have acted truthfully, and we have been wicked. With our kings, our officers, our Kohanim, and our forefathers who did not fulfill your Torah, and did not heed your commandments, and your warnings with which you warned them. But they, in their kingdom, with your abundant bounty that you granted them, and in the broad and fertile land that you placed before them, did not serve you, and they did not repent of their wicked deeds. Behold, today we are slaves, and the land that you gave to our forefathers to eat of its fruit and its bounty, behold, we are slaves upon it. Its produce is abundant for the benefit of kings whom you have placed over us because of our sins. They rule over our bodies and over our animals as they please, and we are in great distress. But despite all this, we are establishing a lasting covenant and inscribing it, and upon the sealed portion are our officers, our Levites, and our Kohanim. Chapter 10. These are the signatories: Nehemiah, Hatashata, son of Hakaliah, and Zedekiah, Sariah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malchiah, Hattush, Shebaniah, Maluk, Harim, Meremoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnathon, Baruch, Meshulam, Abijah, Mijamin, Maaziah, Bilgai, and Shemaiah. These were the Kohanim who signed. And the Levites, Vejeshua, son of Azaniah, Benui of the sons of Henadad, Kadmiel, and their brethren Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kalita, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rehob, Hashabiah, Zakur, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, and Beninu, the leaders of the people. Parosh, the governor of Moab, Elam, Zatul, Bani, Buni, Asgad, Babai, Adonijah, Bigvai, Adin, Ater, Hezekiah, Azur, Hodiah, Hashum, Baziah, Harif, Anathoth, Nabai, Mekpiash, Meshulam, Hazir, Meshezabel, Zadok, Jadua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Ananiah, Hosea, Hananiah. Wait, did I read that? Hosea, Hananiah, Hashub, Halohish, Pilha, Shobek, Rehum, Hashabna, Maaseiah, Ba'ahiah, Hanan, Anan, Maluk, Harim, and Ba'ana. The remainder of the people, the Kohanim, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the Nethanim, and everyone who had separated themselves from the peoples of the land to accept Elohim's Torah, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, all those who had knowledge and understanding, supported their brethren, their dignitaries, and entered into a curse and an oath to follow Elohim's Torah, which was given through the hand of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and to observe and fulfill all the commandments of Yahweh or Adonai, and his laws and his decrees, and that we would not give our daughters in marriage to the peoples of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons, and that regarding the peoples of the land who bring their wares, and all kinds of produce to sell on the Shabbat day, we would not buy from them on the Shabbat day and on holy days, and that we would relinquish the land and all loans during the 7th year. We also instituted commandments upon ourselves to give 1/3 of a shekel yearly toward the service of the temple of our Elohim, for the arranged bread and the meal offering, of the daily continual offering and the continual burnt offering, the Shabbat offerings, the new moon offerings, and for the festival offerings, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings to atone for Yasharah, and all the work in the temple of our Elohim. Then we cast lots for the wood offering among the Kohanim, the Levites, and the people, to bring it to the temple of our Elohim, the temple of our forefathers at appointed times, year by year, to burn on the altar of Yahweh our Elohim, as is written in the Torah. And we accepted upon ourselves to bring the first fruits of our ground and the first fruits of all the fruit of every required tree, year by year, to the temple of Yahweh, and to redeem the firstborn of our sons and our flocks, of our sons and our animals, as written in the Torah, and to bring the firstborn of our cattle and our flocks to the temple of our Elohim, to the Kohanim who serve in the temple of our Elohim, and that we would bring the first of our dough and our separated portions of grain and of the fruits of every tree, wine and oil to the Kohanim, to the chambers of the temple of our Elohim, and the tithe of the produce of our land to the Levites, those Levites who received the tithes, being present in all the cities of our labor. A Kohen, a descendant of Aaron, shall be with the Levites at the Levites' tithing, and the Levites shall bring up the tithe of the tithe to the temple of our Elohim, to the chambers of the storage house. For the children of Yasharah and the children of the Levites shall bring the separated portions of the grain, the wine, and the oil to the chamber where the vessels of the sanctuary, and the ministering Kohanim, and the gatekeepers, and the singers are, so that we not forsake the temple of our Elohim. Chapter 11, Shalom, Nehemiah 11. The officers of the people settled in Jerusalem, while the remainder of the people cast lots to bring 1/10 of them to settle in Jerusalem, the holy city, with 9 parts remaining in the other cities. The people blessed all those who volunteered to settle in Jerusalem. These are the heads of the provinces who settled in Jerusalem, while in the cities of Judah everyone settled on his ancestral property, in their cities. The Israelites, the Kohanim, and the Levites, and the Nethanim, and the children of Solomon's slaves. In Jerusalem, some of the children of Judah and some of the children of Benjamin settled. Of the children of Judah, Athiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, of the sons of Perez, and Maaseiah, son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Haziah, son of Adiah, son of Joyarib, son of Zechariah, son of Hashaloni. All of the children of Perez who settled in Jerusalem numbered 468 warriors. And these are the sons of Benjamin: Salu, son of Meshulam, son of Joed, son of Pedadiah, Pediah, son of Koliah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithiel, son of Jeshiah. After him, Gabai, Salah, 928. Joel, son of Zikri, was the appointed official over them, and Judah, son of Hasanua, was assistant over the city. Of the Kohanim, Jediah, son of Joiarib, Jakin, Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshulam, son of Zadok, son of Merioth, son of Ahutub, the supervisor over the temple of Elohim, with 822 of their brethren who performed the temple service. Adiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pelaliah, son of Amzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Malchiah, with 242 of his brethren, heads of families, and Amashai, son of Azarel, son of Azai, son of Meshillamoth, son of Immer, with 128 of their brethren, mighty warriors. Appointed over them was Zabdiel, son of the great. Of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Buni, and Shabbathai, and Josabad, who were in charge of the outward work of the temple of Elohim, from among the leaders of the Levites. Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, son of Asaph, who was the leader of the beginning of the thanksgiving at prayer. Bakbukiah, the assistant from among his brethren, and Abda, son of Shamua, son of Galal, son of Zeduthun. All the Levites in the holy city numbered 284. The gatekeepers, Akub, Talmon, and their brethren, who stood guard at the gates, 172. The remainder of Yasharal, the Kohanim, and the Levites, settled in all the cities of Judah, each in its ancestral property. The Nethinim settled in Nophel. Zihah and Gishpa were over the Nethinim. The supervisor over the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzi, son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micah, of the children of Asaph, the singers, to supervise the work of the temple for the temple of Elohim. For the king's commandment and trust was upon the singers, each day's affair in his day. And Pethahiah, son of Meshezabel, of the descendants of Zerah, son of Judah, was at the king's hand for every matter of the people. Some of the children of Judah settled in the villages, in their open areas, in Kiriath-arba and its suburbs, in Dibon and its suburbs, in Jacobzeel and its villages, in Jeshua, in Moladah, in Beth Pelet, in Hazar Shual, in Beersheba and its suburbs, in Ziklag, in Makona and in its suburbs, in Ramon, in Zorah, in Jarmuth, Zanoah, Adulam and their villages, Lachish and its open areas, and Azekah and its suburbs. They encamped from Beersheba into the valley of Hinnom. The children of Benjamin lived in the area from Geba and Michmas, Aijah, Bethel and its suburbs, Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Ramah, Gittaim, Hadid, Zeboim, Nabalat, Lod, Ono, Gehavashim. Some of the Levites lived in portions from Judah to Benjamin. That's the last chapter, chapter 12. These are the Kohanim and the Levites who ascended with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua: Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluk, Hatush, Shechaniah, Rahum, Meremoth, Edo, Ginnathoi, Abijah, Mijamin, Maadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, and Joyarib, Jediah, Shalu, Amok, Hilkiah, and Jediah. These were the heads of the Kohanim and their brethren in the days of Jeshua. And the Levites, Jeshua, Benui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, Mattaniah, who was in charge of the thanksgiving, he and his brethren, Babukiah and Uni, their kinsmen like them, were divided into watches. Jeshua, the Kohen Gadol, begot Joachim. Joachim begot Eliashib. Eliashib begot Joiada. Joiada begot Jonathan, and Jonathan begot Jaddua. In the days of Jehoiakim, the Kohanim, who were heads of the families, were over the family of Sariah, Mariah. They got some weird names. Mariah over Jeremiah, Hananiah over Ezra, Masulam over Amariah, Jehohanan over Melikul, Jonathan over Shebaniah, Joseph over Harim, Adnah over Marioth, Helkai over Edo, Zechariah over Ginnethon, Meshulam over Abijah, Zikri over Miniamin, and over Moadiah, Piltai over Bilgah, Shamua over Shemaiah, Jehonathan over Joyarib, Mattanai over Jediah, Uzi over Salah, Kalai over Amok, Eber over Hilkiah, Hashabiah over Jediah, Nathaniel. The Levites in the days of Eliashib, Joada, Johanan, and Jaddua were recorded as family heads, and the Kohanim as well during the reign of Darius the Persian. The children of Levi, who were the family heads, were recorded in the book of Chronicles down to the days of Johanan, the grandson of Eliashib. The heads of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Jeshua, son of Kadmiel, with their brethren opposite them, to praise and give thanks according to the command of David, the man of Elohim, one watch parallel to the other watch. Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshulam, Talmon, and Akub, who were guardians, keepers at their watches at the gateposts. These were in the days of Joachim, son of Jeshua, son of Jozadak, and in the days of Nehemiah the governor and Ezra the Kohen, the scholar. At the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, the Levites were sought from all their places to bring them to Jerusalem to celebrate the dedication with rejoicing and with thanksgiving offerings and with song, cymbals, lyre, and harps. The singers were gathered from Jerusalem and from the plain around Jerusalem, from the villages of the Netophathite, from Beth Gilgal, and from the open areas of Geba and Asmaveth, for the singers had built themselves villages around Jerusalem. The Kohanim and the Levites purified themselves, and they purified the people, and the gates and the wall. I then brought the officers of Judah alongside near the wall, and I emplaced 2 large thanksgiving loaves there. Then the march set out toward the right, alongside the wall, toward the dung gate. After them went Hoshea and half of the officers of Judah, and Azariah, Ezra, and Meshulam, Judah, and Benjamin, and Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, of the sons of the Kohanim, with trumpets, Zechariah, son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zakur, son of Asaph, then his brethren, Shemaiah, and Azarel, Milalai, Gilalai, Ma'ai, and Nathanael, and Judah, and Hanani, with the musical instruments of David, the man of Elohim, with Ezra the scholar before them. Then near the spring gate and in front of them, ascending upon the steps of the city of David, on the stair of the wall, on the stair to the wall, over the house of David, up to the water gate to the east. The second Thanksgiving offering went alongside, and I followed with half the people alongside the wall, from near the tower of the ovens until the broad wall, from near the gate of Ephraim, near the old gate, near the fish gate, and the tower of Hananel, and the tower of the 100, up to the sheep gate. They stood still at the prison gate. Then the 2 Thanksgiving offerings stopped at the temple of Elohim, and I and half the leaders with me, and the Kohanim, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Miniamin, Micaiah, Elionai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with trumpets, and Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzi, and Johanan, and Malchiah, and Elam, and Nazir. The singers made their song heard with Jezrahiah, the supervisor. They slaughtered a great number of sacrifices on that day, and they rejoiced. For Elohim had caused them to rejoice, a great rejoicing. Also the women and children rejoiced. The rejoicing of Jerusalem was heard from afar. On that day, men were appointed over the chambers that were for the storage of the terumah offerings, the first fruits of the tithes, in which to gather from the fields around the cities the portions ordained by the Torah for the Kohanim and for the Levites. For there was rejoicing in Judah over the Kohanim and Levites who were stationed in the temple, who kept watch of their Elohim and the watch of purity, and the singers and the gatekeepers, and the commandment of David to Solomon his son. Yeah, that's when he told him to arm himself with purity, but they try to say it says kiss the son. It says it right here. Kept the watch of their Elohim and the watch of purity, as the commandment of David to Solomon his son. Highlight that. All of Yasharal, wait, verse 46. For in the days of David and Asaph in former times, there were leaders of the singers and songs of praise and thanksgiving to Elohim. All of Yasharal in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah supplied portions of food for the singers and the gatekeepers, each day's need in his day. They also consecrated the tithe for the Levites, and the Levites consecrated a portion for the sons of Aaron. Yeah, actually 13 is the last chapter. I was one off. Chapter 13. On that day, the book of Moses was read in the ears of the people, and it was found written in it that an Ammonite or Moabite shall not ever enter into the congregation of Elohim to eternity, because they did not greet the children of Yasharal with bread and with water. And the Moabite king hired Balaam against Yasharal to curse Israel, to curse Yasharal. But our Elohim reversed the curse into a blessing. So it happened that when they heard the Torah, they separated all the assimilated ones from Yasharal. Before this, Eliashib the Kohen, a relative of Tobias, had been stationed in the chamber of the temple of our Elohim. He prepared a large chamber for Tobiah, where they had formerly stored the meal offering, the frankincense and the utensils, and the tithe of the grain, the wine and the oil, which were ordained for the Levites and the singers and the gatekeepers, and the terumah offerings for the Kohanim. Now during all this, I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylonia, I had come to the king. Then at the end of some time, I requested leave of the king. I arrived in Jerusalem and contemplated the evil that Eliashib had done for Tobiah by preparing a chamber for him in the courtyards of the temple of Elohim. This was extremely distressing to me, and I threw all of Tobiah's household articles out of the chamber. Then I gave the order, and they purified the chambers. I returned it to the utensils of the temple of Elohim, the meal offering and the frankincense. I then became aware that the Levites' portions had not been given, and the Levites, the singers, and those who performed the services had fled, each to his own field. So I contended with the nobles, and I said, why is the temple of Elohim forsaken? I then gathered the Levites together and established them in their stations. All of Judah then brought the tithe of the grain and the wine and the oil to the storehouses. I appointed as treasurers of the storehouses Shemaiah the Kohen, Zadok the scholar, and Pedaiah of the Levites, and to assist them, Hanan son of Zakur, son of Mattaniah, for they were considered trustworthy, and it was their duty to apportion the shares to their brethren. Remember me, O my Elohim. For this, do not disregard my kindnesses that I did for the temple of my Elohim and for its watches. In those days I observed in Judah people treading on wine presses on the Shabbat, and people bringing sheaves and loading them on donkeys, as well as wine, grapes, and figs in every burden, bringing them to Jerusalem on the Shabbat day. I warned them on the day they sold their provisions. Also the Tyrians who dwelled there would bring fish and every merchandise and sell them on Shabbat to the people of Judah and in Jerusalem. So I contended with the aristocrats of Judah, and I said to them, what is this wicked thing that you are doing, desecrating the Shabbat day? Did not your ancestors do this? And then our Elohim brought all this evil upon us and upon this city. And now you bring additional wrath against Yasharal by desecrating the Shabbat. It happened when the gates of Jerusalem cast shadows before the Shabbat that I spoke the order and the doors were closed. And I spoke the order not to open them until after the Shabbat. I stationed some of my servants at the gates so that no burden could come in on the Shabbat. So the merchants and the sellers of every merchandise lodged outside Jerusalem once and then a second time. I warned them and said to them, why do you lodge across from the wall? If you repeat this, I will send a force against you. From that time onward, they did not come on the Shabbat. Then I told the Levites that they should regularly purify themselves and come as guards of the gates to sanctify the Shabbat day. This too remember for me, O my Elohim, and be compassionate towards me according to your abundant kindness. Also in those days I observed the Jews who had married Ashdodite, Ammonite, and Moabite wives. Half their children spoke Ashdodian, and did not know how to speak the language of the Jews, and likewise with the language of each nation. So I contended of the Jews. No, so I contended with them, and I cursed them. I beat some of their men and tore their hair out. I made them swear by Elohim that you not give your daughters over to their sons, nor marry their daughters to your sons or to yourselves. I said, did not Solomon, king of Yasharal, sin with such women? Among the many nations there was never a king like him. He was beloved by his Elohim, and Elohim appointed him king over all of Yasharal. Yet the alien wives caused even him to sin. Shall we then listen to you to do all this great wickedness, to be unfaithful to our Elohim by marrying alien wives? One of the sons of Joadah, son of Eliashib, the, the Kohen Gadol, was a son-in-law of Sambalat, the Horonite, so I drove him away from me. Remember them, O my Elohim, for their desecrations of the priesthood and of the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. And so I cleansed them from all that is alien, and I established the watches of the Kohanim and of the Levites, each one according to its task, and for the wood offering at scheduled times, and for the first fruits. Remember me, O my Elohim, for good. That's the end of Nehemiah. All we got left, y'all, is the Chronicles, First and Second Chronicles. Then we're done. Whole cycle. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Probably finish up. Probably finish up by Thursday night. If I do all the First Chronicles tomorrow and then all the Second Chronicles on Thursday, but at the very least Friday night should be done. And I gotta settle something real quick, and then I'm gonna go to bed. I gotta get after these readings are done. I gotta get back to my sleep schedule. Start waking back up at 3 a.m. again, like I used to. It's hard to do now. Be reading all late, but gotta get back on my old routine. I've been slacking. Not really slacking because doing work with the book, but we are gonna start another tour reading. I think what's his name? I cannot think right now. I think Zaya and Menelek are gonna start a new tour reading. I think they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do it on YouTube or on Tour Nights or his one YouTube channel, but yeah, make sure y'all come in for the next cycle. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to attend everyone on the next cycle, I'll try to though. I might have to just read it all over on my own accord. I do want to read it more slowly this time around and focus on look into the Hebrew and focus, like, spend more time in each chapter and not really go through it. Maybe take twice as long as we did this time. It only took like 2 months. It should have been done faster, but we spent so much time with Ezekiel and some days were missed. But I mean, it didn't take that long. But yeah, yo, I'm gonna go handle something real quick and get ready for bed. I might hop back on. If I don't, shalom, peace and increase. And the Most High keep you protected and blessed. Have his hand and his angels upon you and grant you favor and strength through your trials, tribulations, and bring you out the fire as gold. Seek righteousness and perfection, y'all. Shalom.